Welcome to TechForce Arena, where today we're diving into one of the most iconic strike aircraft ever to serve with the Royal Australian Air Force, the mighty F-111C Aardvark. If you've ever wondered why this jet earned such legendary status, why it was feared across the region, and why Aussies still talk about it with pride years after retirement, then stick around. This story is worth every second. The F-111C wasn't just a fighter. It wasn't just a bomber. It was a technological leap so far ahead of its time that even modern aircraft are still compared to it. When Australia first decided to buy the F-111 in the 1960s, it was seen as a bold, risky move. The aircraft had issues during its development, timelines were delayed, and critics called it too experimental. But when it finally arrived in 1973, everything changed. The Aardvark instantly became the most advanced strike aircraft in the entire Asia-Pacific region, giving Australia a long-range punch no one else could match. One of the first things people noticed about the F-111C was its sleek shape and signature feature, variable sweep wings. These wings could move, folding back for high-speed attack runs and sweeping forward for lower-speed operations like takeoff and landing. It meant the jet could fly extremely fast, over Mach 2, and still be stable and controlled at slow speeds. Aussie pilots loved this flexibility. It allowed them to fly low, fly fast, and fly exactly how a strike aircraft should. And speaking of low flying, the F-111C became famous for its terrain-following radar. This system allowed the aircraft to automatically maintain ultra-low altitude, even at night or in bad weather. Imagine hurtling across the landscape at hundreds of kilometers per hour, only a few meters above the ground, with the aircraft adjusting itself to every hill, valley, and ridge. That's what made the Aardvark so deadly. It could get in under enemy radar, deliver its weapons, and disappear before anyone even knew it was there. The Australians didn't just operate the F-111, they made it their own. The C model was unique to the RAAF, built with stronger wings, reinforced undercarriage, and upgraded avionics to suit long-distance missions. Over the years, Australia further enhanced the fleet with the F-111G models and an electronic warfare version known as the F-111C. These upgrades kept the Aardvark relevant well into the 2000s, long after other countries had retired their versions. For decades, the F-111C formed the backbone of Australia's strike capability. Whether it was regional conflict, border protection, or strategic deterrence, the Aardvark stood ready. It never had to fire a shot in anger, but that was the point. Its presence alone was enough. Neighbouring countries respected it, some feared it, everyone understood that Australia possessed a long-range, precision strike platform unmatched by anything else in the region. Inside the cockpit, the jet was a world of buttons, switches, and displays. It took a skilled crew to master it. The pilot controlled the flight. The navigator weapons officer handled radar, weapons, and mission systems. Together, they formed a team capable of executing some of the most complex flight profiles imaginable. Many Aussie aircrew describe the F-111C as demanding but incredibly rewarding. It wasn't easy to fly, but when you understood it, it felt like a living machine, one that wanted to move fast, one that wanted to hunt. And then there was the famous dump and burn. If you're Australian, you've probably seen it in an airshow or at least on video. The F-111 would dump fuel from a nozzle near the tail while igniting it with its afterburners, creating a massive fire plume stretching behind the aircraft. It was loud, bright, and spectacular. It became a symbol of the RAAF and a crowd favorite across the country. No other aircraft did it quite like the F-111, and people still talk about it today. Despite its power, the F-111C wasn't just about brute force. The aircraft could deliver precision weapons, conduct reconnaissance missions, and sustain long-range operations. With aerial refueling, it could fly thousands of kilometers and strike deep into hostile territory. This made it a key part of Australia's defense strategy. If anything threatened the nation from afar, the F-111C could reach it. By the early 2000s, though, technology had moved forward. Maintenance became expensive, and the airframes were aging. After more than 37 years of service, the RAAF retired the F-111C in 2010. It was the end of an era. Many Australians felt a mix of pride and sadness. They weren't just seeing a jet retire, they were saying goodbye to a legend. Today, the F-111 holds a special place in Australian aviation history. It represents a time when Australia took a huge risk to secure its future and ended up with one of the most capable strike aircraft the world had ever seen. Many of the aircraft are now displayed in museums across the country, reminding everyone of what they once meant to the nation's defense. But even on the ground, the Aardvark still captures imaginations. Its design, its performance, and its unmistakable silhouette all make it one of the most iconic aircraft ever flown by the RAAF. Pilots, engineers, aviation fans, they all have stories about it. Some remember the deafening roar as it took off. Others recall the shockwave when it passed overhead. Some talk about the dump and burn lighting up the night sky. But everyone agrees on one thing: there will never be another aircraft quite like the F-111C. As we wrap up, remember this: the F-111C wasn't just a machine. It was a symbol of Australian strength, innovation, and determination. For decades, it protected the nation, projected power, and embodied the cutting edge of military aviation. Even today, new aircraft are judged against its capabilities, proof that the Aardvark was ahead of its time. Thanks for watching TechForce Arena. If you enjoyed this deep dive into one of Australia's greatest aircraft, make sure to like, subscribe, and drop a comment about which jet you want to see next. The skies are full of legends, and we're just getting started.